Every single month, I wonder if I'm going to have enough stuff to talk about to do a book haul. And I think maybe I can do like, September and October together, but you guys just continue to be way too generous. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another book haul this time for October of 2024. What an amazing, amazing month it was. Spooky season is always a lot of fun. And when you have such an amazing audience as I do, it just makes months like this even better. But let's not dilly-dally. Let's go ahead and jump right into it by talking about those digital purchases I did pick up this month. I talked about recently some horror books that I want to kind of pick up next year, and that's what led me to pick up Black Mouth by ℚ𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤. Now, I did read Come With Me, and I liked it quite a bit, but getting Black Mouth is the one that I want to start next year. So I went ahead and picked that one up because I think it's going to be kind of exactly what I was looking for, maybe what some of these other It knockoffs have been claimed as. This sounds like it might be the one that I've been looking for. If you're kind of wanting something that's like, hey, it's the Silent Hill to the Resident Evil. If that's that to what it is, I'm okay with that. I think that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So if it's like what I liked about it, then hey, I think maybe that might be exactly what I'm looking for. And that's what a lot of recommendations have led me to. Sharp Objects. This is by Gillian Flynn. Now, I first became familiar with this author, well, obviously, like a lot of people, when I watched the movie for Gone Girl. I found that she was the one who wrote that. And I never actually got around to that book. And it's kind of like what I had with Adam Neville, where I was like, look, I like The Ritual, the movie, but that's not the book I'm going to read. It just got me interested in the author. And Sharp Objects seems to be the one that comes up a lot. Now, this was close to making it onto my spooky season list, but it sounded like it was a lot more thriller than a horror novel, so I figured I would just kind of leave it for something else later. But it is one of those that I have been interested in for a while, and an author I've been interested in reading here, Gillian Flynn, so we'll see how that turns out. You missed it the other day on Mike's Media Reviews. We talked about the movie Old by M. Night Shyamalan, and a movie that he has actually made since then that is actually going to be based off of a book that I was interested in. Is Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. The movie is called A Knock at the Cabin, I believe, but it is based off of this book. And I read Head Full of Ghosts last year and really liked it. And I said I want to pick up some more Paul Tremblay. So I think this would be the one that I pick up next due to my interest in reading that. Because when it comes to M. Night movies, it's like I'll have the same issues with his movies a lot of people do, but he's also one of those where I feel like each one of his movies, well, I've got to watch it. It's almost appointment viewing for me because I just got to know where I stand on these things. Old was really good, by the way, so watch that video if you haven't yet. But that's what I got for the digital purchase. It might look a little different next month, and that leads me to talking about why with some physical purchases. There are a couple of things I picked up. I am picking up these new Michael Crichton deals here of his books that he wrote as John Lang, and they reissued them on hardcover finally. And this is I've only got one more left after this. I can't remember which one it is, but I've got one left. It's on my Amazon wish list. I've been getting these slowly because obviously Michael Crichton, second favorite author of all time. I want to have all of his stuff, but I've never read any of his John Lang books. So I feel like it's going to be a nice little second Crichton revival here for me soon. But with these, I didn't want to do that thing where I waited. I'm like, I'm just going to wait and get them another time. And then they're out of print. And they're like, well, we didn't anticipate demand, as they have been known to do on several occasions. So I want to go ahead and pick that up, and I'll probably get the last one here very, very soon. And then I talked about Howard Andrew Jones. I think it was either last month or I can't remember when it was. I was talking about him recently and talking about his Chronicles of ℚ𝕤𝕤𝕤. That's a series that gets recommended a ton. Now, this is going to be part one of a two-part story here, and I'll have to get into that when I get into the stuff I get from publishers. But I did pick up Lord of a Shadowland. I had this on paperback. I wanted to get it on hardcover because I do have the other ones in hardcover that I've gotten from Baen. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But this is a series that I said I wanted to wait until it was finished to read it. Sadly, he has gotten terminal cancer, and he will not probably be finishing the series, I don't imagine. A lot of people have told me that the trilogy, as it is, I think it was going to be more than 3 books, but it does have kind of a closed-off ending to where if you want to just read the trilogy, you can. So I want to make sure I got this to match the other ones. And it's a series, like I said, it just gets recommended a ton. So I wanted to get it, and I wanted to get one to match the rest. And the rest of my money this month, guys, for physical purchases went to this sucker here, which I am actually going to be working on reviewing. Now, I know a lot of you are waiting for my Kindle Colorsoft review probably today or the day before this video comes up. The thing was, I had planned on doing it this week, but I still feel like I need a couple more days with it. I want to make sure it's a thorough review. There's some things I like. There's some things I don't like. There's some stuff I still need to see if I get used to the feel of it so I can give you guys a proper review of this, because I think I've had I didn't think anyone was interested in my Kindle reviews anymore, but as soon as this was announced, I got so many messages about me doing this because people want to know if it's worth the money. It is expensive, guys. It's $3 here in the States. So it's one of those things I'm going to give it a nice, thorough review. I want to make sure I give you guys different screenshots so I can show you some hands-on with it, show you what I feel like they've updated, what they've changed, and if I feel like it's worth it. But it's one of those things where, could this end up replacing my Oasis? I've not decided. It's kind of where I'm at right now. So we'll talk about all those things. That'll be coming out a little later this week. So I'll save all my thoughts about the Kindle Colorsoft for then. So how about some things from some authors? Okay, first I should probably talk about one here that isn't a book. This is actually from Ryan Cahill. I helped him with his Day of the Dragon release that him and several other authors had. And so he sent me a nice purple hoodie. And the thing is like, this is the second hoodie now that Ryan sent me when I live in the hottest state in the union. But hey, again, I appreciate it so much. You know, actually my wife works for a high school where her colors are purple, and she kind of has eyes on this as of the moment. So that might be end up where that goes. But thank you, Ryan. You continue to be a scholar and a gentleman, and I'm happy that I could help you out. Now, what I always say with independent books here and self-pub and some of these things that I get sent, I don't know very much about them. I tell people I can't make any promises. I'll be able to get to them in any time or maybe ever. But what I can do here is kind of give you a shout out and drop a link down below. So if you guys are interested in any of these, make sure you hit the links in the description and check them out for yourself. Okay, first up, this is by C.L. Embry. This is called Nightfall. Nightfall. Thank you, Mr. and or Mrs. Embry. This is from my good friend Shauna Lawless. Her series, I believe it's complete now. This is The Land of the Living and the Dead. And she continues to have just such beautiful covers. Thank you so much, Shauna. This is wonderful. These look so incredible on my shelf back there. And this will be finding a nice home with the first two books in that series. Again, Shauna, just salt of the earth. Great, great person. And I haven't had a chance to get to her books yet, but I've heard she is an amazing author as well, and that does not surprise me at all. This is absolutely beautiful. I'm saying this up front. This is one of the most beautiful books that I've ever gotten. Now, I had already planned to read Gunmetal Gods by ℚ𝕦𝕣𝕚𝕤. I hope I'm saying your name right, brother. I had planned to read this next year, and that was even before he said, "Hey, Mike, I've got a couple of extra of my Kickstarters. I want to send you one." And I was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." When I actually got it in my hand, it was even more of a wow. I did an unboxing for it on Instagram if you want to see my actual reaction to getting it here. This is one of the sharpest editions I have ever seen. Is that the coolest thing? I mean, it's got like this reflective lightning bolt. It just looks amazing. And this is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. And it looks just as nice on the inside, guys. It's just an incredible, incredible edition. And like I said, I planned on starting this next year. It's kind of a spoiler for my series that I want to start next year. There we go. It's just, I don't know what to say about this. It's just wonderful. And Zamil, thank you so much for sending me one of these. It's going to be quite the immersive experience reading from this wonderful edition. Incredible, incredible artwork. I don't know too much about what the series is about. But, you give me some nice eldritch monsters and some fantasies. Maybe, I think it's Flint Talk. I'm not sure. I'm not sure really at all. I don't know. I've just heard that people like the series. I haven't really gotten into what it's about. But again, yeah, I'm a Lovecraft fan, so throw some big scary tentacle monsters in there. I'm usually going to give it a go when the book looks this amazing. Wow, thank you, Zamil, so much for thinking of me. And this next set is just because he's a bad lad, I think. When Ryan came to Dallas, Ryan Cahill, when he came to Dallas and I met up with him, he kept talking about Philip Quaintrell. Now, that's a name that I had heard a lot, but I never really actually interacted with him. And he saw that and he said, "Hey, Mike, I could send you some books." I said, "Of course, that would be great." I had heard a lot about the Echo Saga. Now, this is several other booktubers have talked about the Echo Saga. Some have said, some patrons actually have told me it's almost like a crack, that they can't get enough of it. Well, Philip was just beyond a scholar and a gentleman, and he decided to send me his whole series. I'm going to try to pick it up here and see if I can do it without breaking my back, because it's all on hardcover. Wow. So again, guys, if you are following me on Instagram, I do all my unboxing and stuff over there. I did do unboxings for these, but I'm going to kind of show you each one here. He's got just incredible, incredible artwork. And this is a series, again, I had already planned to try out next year with the first book. But now with these incredible editions, I don't see how I can resist. Right now, it almost feels like if I didn't have a Ken Follett book and I didn't have a new Brandon Sanderson book that are both just massive, massive bricks, I'd be starting this series ASAP because, look, an author that's really, really nice and an author who has beautiful, beautiful books like these, it makes you want to read their stuff a lot faster. And that's also, like I said, the recommendations that I got from people that I know and trust. Trying to balance those on something else when they're just too heavy didn't really work. But yeah, there's just, wow. What can I say? Thank you, Phil. This is so kind of you. And then he added a nice little surprise as he put in letter to me there, is he sent me also book 1 of his Once There Were Heroes, which I think is the follow-up series. I don't think it's in the same world, because I know he does have some other books within that world, but I think this is a new series. I might be wrong on that. But this is, again, just, whoo. I mean, this guy is just, yeah. So, again, I've heard incredible things about Philip. And if he's half as decent of an author as he is a human being, man, I am in for a surprise, and I cannot wait. Got a couple more and a few unboxings here for me. This is called Schroeder. This is by Neil Cassidy. I appreciate the letter that you sent. I have a weakness for handwritten letters, like I say, but he also knows that I am a sneakerhead. If you guys don't know, I love sneakers. I collect those just like I collect books, just like I collect many a thing. With sneakers, I'm not a loyalist. I have Puma, I have Nike, I even have Reeboks. I mean, I have all kinds of sneakers, all kinds of them. So he asked me, he's like, I gotta get your shoe size because I got a surprise for you. And he sent me some SB, which means they're skateboard shoes, but these are for spooky season and they are Halloween themed. And I thought that was just very, very creative. So Scott, if you want to change them out to green laces, but in case you can't tell, they are supposed to be mummy shoes. I will confess I did wear these already. I wore these to my office on Halloween because I thought that's probably the only time of year I can get away with wearing mummy shoes, or maybe if I go to a monster convention or something like that. But thank you so much, Neil. This is really awesome. And yeah, I don't know what to say. That's a wonderful gift right there, because I do love me some books and I love me some sneakers as well. So what about mystery boxes? Got a couple of them here. Let's see. This one's technically a mystery box. It's just a shipping box, but it was in that nice wrapping inside, so I waited. So let's do this one first, because it looks like more of a mystery box to here. This one comes with some tea. It's got some black tea in there. And a nice little coaster there as well. This is Joshua Walker. There we go. There's another one in there. Was this what it meant to drift? I feel like I recognize the name. More tea. All right, let's open this bad boy up and see what it's like. From Mr. Walker here. Very pretty. Joshua Walker, In Exile of Water and Gold. And also, looks like maybe a novella. This is The Rest of the Gods. The Rest to the Gods. Reading's not important on this channel at all, is it? Amazing. So I'm not familiar with these books. Like I said, I feel like I recognize the name. We've probably interacted on Twitter and I'm just forgetting about it. I try not to be like this and say this, as I get so many messages and I have so many people that I talk to, and sometimes I forget. I mean, I'm getting older. I tell people all the time, I can remember the succession of Line of Kings and Gundor, but I can't remember what happened yesterday. And you understand, because that is vital information. And this one, Aaron Payne, I think that's bibliotheory. Oh, okay, then I know what this is. But wait, I saw all these other booktubers making it rain. I saw these other booktubers getting this. I was getting jealous. But Aaron remembered me. Okay. All right. That's a mess. I just made a mess about that. That's fancy, Aaron. It's fancy. Let's see here. It's got looks like a keychain of some sort. Okay. Sticker, bookmark. This is very fancy work, my man. All right. It's like Christmas morning in here. It's really nice paper. I don't think I can tear it. Gotta rip the tape, because you can't really rip the book. Or I don't want to rip the book. You can't rip the paper, rather. I'm just afraid of ripping the book. And there we go. Very, very nice cover, amigo. Thank you so much, man. This is awesome. This is awesome. Naked hardcovers are just so nice. I love a good dust jacket, but man, it makes that when you have that tough decision, like sometimes with broken binding, where I always say it's tough to decide if you want to put, edges out, if you want to put it naked hardcover, if you want to put the dust jacket. It solves a problem when it's a nice, naked hardcover. Aaron, thank you. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate this. Moving along now to some things from some publishers here. And again, I will have the links down below if you're looking to find out more about them. This is The Mayhem Virus by Matthew Brangman. Very nice. Small Town Problems. This is a sci-fi novella by Chris Ritchie. Almost looks like a manga. We got Unlocked. This is by Peter Kraft. And Wounded Tiger by T. Martin Bennett. Very cool. Tiger. And The Serpent and the Wolf by Rebecca Robinson. Is that fancy or what? I don't know if you guys can really tell how reflective that is. Very, very nice. Very nice. What else? Hey, there's a new Larry Correia book out. Did you guys know? Graveyard of Demons. I did get this one a little early from Baen, which sucks because I think I've got a book between this one and that one. This is the penultimate book in that series. And I've read the first 3. I've got to read 4. This is 5. And then the 6th and final book is coming out very, very soon. But this one right here, this is a great series. This is a Saga of the Forgotten Warrior. So thank you to Baen so much for sending me that. And I got to give a special shout out to Jason over at Baen because I told him they did send me, they sent me books 1 and 2 of the Hanover Chronicles on paperback, and then they sent me book 3 in hardcover. And I just inquired. I was like, "Do you guys have any of those hardcovers left? I'd be more than willing to pay for them." And like that, and he's like, "Actually, the series got more popular than they thought it was going to be, and so they didn't have book 1 on hardcover anymore." So I went and bought that one off Amazon or eBay actually, because it was sold out everywhere. So I got that off eBay. But he did send me book 2 in hardcover, so I want to make sure that I give Jason a proper shout out there. Thank you. The guys over at Baen are just so awesome. They are, and I'm really excited to check this series out. Probably, I never know with these things, but right now I'm curious about maybe starting those next year because everyone that knows how much I love Conan the Barbarian, they cannot stop telling me that series is going to be exactly what I'm looking for. The book I've got on deck next after I finish Fury of the Gods. Yeah, see, the thing is, I don't feel like I would have gotten a physical arc of this if I hadn't got approved for that one on NetGalley. At least that's what I'm telling myself. This is my most anticipated book of 2025, so getting to read it early is just awesome. And to have the option to read it physical instead of digital is always something, because I prefer physical over digital still, as much as I do enjoy reading off my Kindle. But you got some of you guys that say, "Oh, I'm an immersive reader," which means is that what you call it? Immersive, where you will read it with your eyes, but when you're in the car, you'll listen. Yeah, that's me with physical and digital. I'll read it like this when I've got the chance, but I don't want to keep my wife up all night with my lamp on, so I'll read with my Kindle because I can read that in the complete darkness. Tad Williams has a new book out. And Orbit did send this one over. It's not Orbit. Dahl sent this one over to me. This Navigator's Children. Now, I haven't actually read. I've only read Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. I haven't read The Last King of Oastenard. I believe this is the final book in that series. And just like in Tad Nature, it's a brick, of course. As far as me starting Last King of Oastenard, I don't know when that's going to happen. I've got so many things planned, guys, and sometimes series that I wish I could start them all at the same time. I really, really do. But this is one that I've heard amazing things, and people I know that loved the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn say that series is as good, if not better. And if that's the case, I mean, I'm in for right now. That said, I wanted to try Otherland by Tad Williams before I did that, but this might push me over to do Last King of Oastenard instead. I do got a couple of things from the Broken Binding, of course. Again, if you aren't following me over on Instagram, like I said, everything I get from Broken Binding, I do an unboxing for because I feel like people want to get a nice look at it. A lot of people were upset that I did get the 3-body problem because they know that I did DNF this book. But this is the kind of thing that pushes me to maybe try again. I mean, a really, really beautiful cover. Again, with this, I feel like I love the idea, but for me, it's just got to have some character work. I feel like ideas alone can't really carry a book for me unless it's just a banging idea. But I was really liking the Netflix series, so maybe that'll help me give this a try again. Another amazing, amazing edition from Broken Binding, who do not miss, guys. They bat 1,000. And I was talking about Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, and I love this edition of the Dragonbone Chair. One of my favorite, and I mean, it might be my favorite. I don't know. This and The Green Angel Tower are really close for me as my favorite one in there. And we got Memory right there. This is beautiful, y'all. I am so hyped to add this to my collection and let it replace those paperbacks that I have, because these are just amazing, amazing. And I can't say thank you to Broken Binding enough. And I tell everybody all the time, they're upset that you can't just buy stuff from Broken Binding like this, that you have to get on the subscription list. They complain about the wait list. Get on the wait list and then complain, you know? So I say sign up now, and I've got the link for their website down below if you don't have it yet. And lastly, I do have a few thanks from some viewers here. Stolen Tongues, this was sent to me by Chris. Thank you so much. This is happening next year. I cannot believe how many people were hyped for me to read this when I talked about it for those my next 10 horror reads. Everyone seems to love that book and say that it really stuck with him. I don't know who this one's from. It is The Worthing Saga by Orson Scott Card. It came without a name or anything attached. It just came just in an envelope. So I don't know who this one's from. So if it was you, please hit me up. Let me know so I can give you a proper thank you. This one's from my wife. She actually bought it for me for my birthday, but it was on pre-order, so we didn't get it until now. This is the Alex Van Halen autobiography about him and his brother, Eddie. You might have heard of him, Eddie Van Halen. And I love rock and roll biographies, man. It's some of my favorite stuff. People ask me all the time, you ever read any nonfiction? Like, it's either JFK assassination or it's rock and roll autobiographies, because they're so much fun. I received the most touching letter I might have ever gotten on this channel. And I want to thank this viewer, Colton, for sending this. And it's stuff like this, guys, is when you do this content creation thing and things dip like they have for me this year, you start to wonder, maybe my relevancy is wearing off. Maybe no one really appreciates what I'm doing anymore. You just kind of makes you feel like you don't know if you should keep going. Maybe you should start winding it down. If your 5 minutes are up, and then you get a letter like this and it recharges you. A letter like this really it goes beyond just books and things. When you get this, when you feel like you have been a positive influence on someone's life, that's the greatest shot in the arm you can get. It really is. And Colton, thank you so much for your kind words. I think you're giving me way too much credit. The idea that he gives me some credit for him getting sober, for getting his life back on track, for helping him find God. Again, I feel like that's giving me way too much credit. I'll take it. I will take it. And I'm glad that I can influence people in that way. But this was a really touching letter. Look, I am a Gen Xer. I grew up in a time of snail mail, so handwritten letters still obviously are always going to get my attention. But the contents in this, even my oldest son read it. And I think even he gained a little bit more respect for me, feeling like, wow, my dad actually can influence people in that way. It was very, very touching. And that's a letter I'm just going to kind of keep in my file cabinet for a while for whenever I need to pick me up. So thank you so much. But on top of that, he actually sent me some things too. He sent me a book 3 of Jonathan French's series of Lot Lands. This is Free Bastards. This was a series I've been saying I was going to start, every year now for a couple of years. But this is the third book in that series, the only one I didn't have. Volume 2 of Berserk. I have Volume 1, but now I have Volume 2. I've read and reviewed most of these on the channel. I've done all the arcs up through Falcon of the Millennium Empire. It's an amazing, amazing series. Even if you aren't into manga, guys, I think it's a great place to start if you don't mind some violence, because the Golden Age arc might be one of the greatest coming-of-age stories I have ever read. And that is not hyperbole. He sent me a First Law mug as well. It was say one thing, or you have to be realistic about these things, because, say one thing about Logan Nine Fingers. Say that he only has 9 fingers. So great mug. Thank you so much, Colton. And again, your words meant the world to me. Thank you so much. Really, it made my week. Lastly, this one came with a letter as well. This is from Paul. And he runs a business called geekslovedogs.com. They design t-shirts. And again, with this, another incredible letter. He basically gives me credit for him starting his own business. I tell my story about, going back to school. It's never too late to go back to school and stuff like that. And found the channel. And while, like a lot of people have told me about this, they found the channel during the virus shall be named, during lockdown, all that. They needed something to kind of keep their mind free. And without getting too personal about the details in here, had a rough go at it. And felt like the channel was a way of kind of helping him get through some things. And it helped him start his own business. And man, I am a big, big champion of small business, because it's creators and innovators that make things happen. They're the ones who just come up with the ideas that we need to keep making us, what makes us individuals. I love things like that. And if you might have noticed, I'm wearing one of his shirts right now that he sent me. because some hoards are worth protecting. It's really, really great. He sent me several shirts here, and I'm going to kind of show you each one of them and tell you guys to check out his website, Geeks Love Dogs. And let's see here. This one, I laughed when I saw this. I blame booktubers. See if you can see that. That's pretty good. And I think we've all been there. Here it is, Geeks Love Dogs, and the website and the logo as well. Hope I'm getting this on the screen here for you. The secret to Zen is to pet dogs, read books, and listen to metal. I agree. These are all great things. And we got the sticker here, so you want to go to geekslovedogs.com. So hook him up and check out his site. And he also has the I Blame Booktubers on the other side. It has his logo, but it says geekslovedogs.com. Loves Mike's book reviews. So thank you, Paul. Again, I cannot express my appreciation for not just what you guys send me, but these kind words that you guys say. The reason I do this is I want to be a positive influence on people's life. I want them to read more. And if you can do both of those things, I think that's I am doing what the good Lord put me here to do, and I'm happy for that. I'm happy with that station in life. And I'm happy that you guys continue to watch and listen and tell me you think that I've made a difference in your life, man. Nothing means more in the world to me than to hear that. I am overwhelmed every time I hear that, and it never gets old. It never gets old, and I hope it never gets old when I tell you guys how much I appreciate you, because it's authentic. I really do appreciate everything that you guys do, even if you sent me nothing, even if all you ever did was say, Mike, I appreciate what you do. I cannot express to you what that means to me. So without getting too much more sappy on you guys, I just kind of overwhelmed when I have a month like this, and just show that people still care. That's really, really motivating as a content creator. Really is. And some people, when they're having a rough time, all they want to do is think about someone else. I admire the hell out of that. But how was October for you guys? Did you get anything new for the home library? I'd love you to drop in the comments and let me know what you think about any of these things, and I will talk to you there.